now streaming. Wanted to jump on here real quick and test out. Well, I'm done testing. I know it works. But I am now on here streaming live using my mobile. I finally figured out how to do that. So please join me on my drive home. I'm about ready to head home and figured I would jump on here and do a live stream while I'm driving home. And we'll see what I can talk about today. So hopefully everybody's doing really good today. I know I had a pretty good 4-day weekend, and I was able to get a few things done. So I'm working on a few new projects. Probably the biggest project that I'm working on right now is my planning method. So I'm working on this planning method called the bottom line up front planning method, and that's taken up a lot of my time here lately. So that's what I've been working on. So if you're joining me, please leave me a comment in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Like I said, I'm driving, so I can't tremendously look down, but it'll at least let me know that somebody is watching. So hopefully everybody's doing well today, and hopefully everybody had a good weekend. So I'm working on this bottom line up front planning method, and it's taking me a little bit of time, but I want to make sure that it's right, so whenever I do launch it out into the world, people are able to find it useful. So basically it's a planning method which allows you to filter out a lot of the bad stuff. Not really bad stuff, but it allows you to filter out the unimportant stuff and get to your bottom line up front. In other words, that one thing that you need to accomplish that day in order for your day to be considered a success. I don't like to use the word failure, so when I originally wrote up the plan, I said, or your day is considered a failure. Well, I didn't really like that, so instead I stated, in order for your day to be considered a success. All right? So if you're just now joining me, once again, welcome to my mobile live stream. I'm driving home at the moment, so and trying to provide some motivation, some inspiration, some value on my drive home today. It's like, you know, it's weird, but every day I spend about 2 to 3 hours a day driving. It's not as bad as it used to be. I used to spend 5 and 6 hours a day driving home. It absolutely sucked. You know, so I used to work up in Maryland, and I would drive down to central freaking Virginia, and it was a 2.5 hour long drive. So, you know, once again, each way, at the end of the day, I'm driving 5 and 6 hours depending on how bad traffic is. All right, so I live in the Washington, D.C. area, and if you know anything about the Washington, D.C. area, my goodness, man, the traffic on Interstate 95 is horrendous. An hour and a half to get home in probably about an hour and 15 minutes, but on a really bad day, it's taking me up to 2 hours to get home, and I only live freaking 30 minutes away from where I drive into. So yeah, it really can suck. Channel, let things work. You know, I've always heard people talk about, yeah, go streaming, stream live, use StreamYard, Streamlabs, OBS, this, that, and the other, and I never really realized that because I can't stream on YouTube using my freaking phone. I have to go through a third-party app in order to do so. So thank goodness that there actually is an app like this that allows me to go live here. So hey, how's everybody? Hey, Voklam just joined me here. How's everything going? Yeah, so I'm at a stoplight here, so I'm trying to see who all is joining me. So Use Common Sense TV channel. Hey, how's it going? Thank you for joining me here today. Miss Me, thank you for joining me here today. Voklam, thank you for joining me. Man, all of y'all have some absolutely amazing channels, and I truly enjoy watching your live streams as well too. So again, I'm just driving home, providing a little bit of motivation, a little bit of inspiration, try to get used to how this. I can't really stop and read what people want me to talk about, but I'll try to master your brain. I really enjoy reading personal development, self-help type books and this, that, and the other. I can't read stories. I don't know what it is. I'd much rather just watch the damn movie. So I can't really go out and just read storybooks. So if I'm going to read something, I would much rather read self-help, professional development, business. I'm always looking for something to learn, something that'll help me grow and expand my mind and my abilities and my knowledge and my skills, so that way I can go out there and create something from that. And that's a technique that I learned years ago called paraphrasing, which basically I read something and then I'm able to formulate ideas from what it is that I read. And, it's been said that if one idea doesn't generate at least 10 to 15 other good ideas, then it's not an idea worth seeking. And I always found that to be really interesting. That's a really good quote and a really good statement, because it's absolutely true. If you're out there reading something and you're looking at content or you're looking at material, are you intentionally looking at that content? Are you intentionally looking at that material in order to try to learn and grow and develop and build your personal knowledge and experience and skills from it? I know myself, I always am. I always have an intention behind why I'm reading something. I don't ever just grab something to read just because, oh, this is a cool looking cover, I'm gonna get this. No, that's not how I choose books that I read. When I choose books that I read from, I have an intention on why I'm getting that book, because I have something I'm trying to learn. I have a skill that I'm trying to develop. I have, something that I'm trying to get from that author, so that I can formulate. You fucking spider. There's a damn spider in my truck, you bastard. Sorry about that. Damn. I felt something on my hand. What the hell is that? Looked over, there's a freaking spider on my hand. Son of a bitch. Sorry about that. The fucking spider in my truck. Anyway, so sorry about that, everybody. So I have an intention on why I get books that I get, because I'm trying to learn something, pick up something, whether it be a knowledge or a skill or something along those lines. And so the latest book that I'm reading right now, so if you're interested in what it is that I'm reading right now, I'm reading a book called Master Your Brain. And it really gives a lot of techniques, tips, tools, techniques, and resources in order to master your brain. Because your brain is a really powerful tool if you use it correctly. If you could harness the power that's in your brain and use it correctly. See, now I got to look down here to see if, because I didn't get the spider. All I did was knock it off of me. That damn thing's going to crawling up my freaking leg. I can see it. So if I squeal or I screech, just know that it's a spider. So your brain is a powerful tool. It really is. And it's also been said that we don't really use all of our brain. We are using such a small, minute, version of our brain. It's unbelievable that we are not even tapping our full potential of our brains. We are capable of so much more, and I wholeheartedly agree with that, because a lot of people go throughout their daily life, throughout their day, kind of passively. Most people don't really actively think or actively engage their day or actively do things on a daily basis. And I'm guilty of that as well too. There are times throughout my day to where I'm just kind of passively trying to go through my day. I'm trying to struggle through this hour or this 2 hours. I'm trying to get to lunch, or I'm trying to get to 2 or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or whatever, or I'm trying to get to a certain time zone or a time within the day. So a lot of people tend to passively go through that time, and it's unfortunate. All right, so it seems that I got cut off there for a second, so I'm back on now, hopefully. I don't know what happened there. I guess I got timed out. Something happened. I got timed out here, so to speak. So sorry about that. So anyway, so I was talking about we don't use, and there was this great, the best thing to do is this right here. The best thing to do is to, okay, you got a setback, you got a failure, something happened. Take it, I like to call a miniature AAR. All right, so I guess I'm back again. So I'm not quite sure if there's going to be like any large or long breaks in between these videos, and hopefully it's recording or like streaming properly, so I'm not quite sure how this is going to work out in the end. But yeah, I hit a couple of bad spots. I'm out here recording using my mobile phone, and whenever I hit kind of a bad spot or a dead spot where there's like no signal, my phone tends to cut out on me. So I truly do apologize for kind of bouncing in, bouncing out, bouncing in, bouncing out. You know, it's just me hitting bad spots using my mobile phone, trying to stream using Streamlabs here. So I'm still trying to test it out, get used to the process and this, that, and the other. And for the most part, it seems to be working if I got a good connection. But if I don't have a good connection, then it does tend to kind of time out on me here a little bit. So for those of you that have joined me and that are watching me, I truly do appreciate it. Thank you. Leave me a comment. Let me know that you've joined me. I won't really be able to read it right away, but I'll go ahead and read the comment later on during the replay or the playback. So once again, I truly do apologize for the breaks in service, because I have hit a couple of bad spots here. So what I was talking about was, I'm talking about this book that I was reading called Master Your Brain, and it got to talking about failure, and I provided some tips on how to conduct an AAR if you do experience a setback or you do experience some failure, and how to do experience some type of a setback. The whole idea is to ask yourself, okay, what was supposed to happen? What did happen? Setback or failure again. Okay? So, I get it. Life happens, you know, failures happen. Setbacks happen. But it's not necessarily a matter of if those things are going to happen. It's a matter of when they happen, and more importantly, the action that you take when they do happen, because, you know, things are going to happen. The idea here is that I'm trying to provide you with some tips, some tools, and some techniques, so that when it does happen, you can kind of lessen the damage next time around. Okay, so that you can be more aware and more intentional within your actions, and more aware of, you know, those types of things when they do tend to happen. So, Master Your Brain, it's a book that I'm currently reading. It's a really great book, man. I'm about halfway done with this thing, and I'm really enjoying reading this book. Okay? Man, I wish y'all could see what I'm seeing right now, man. So I'm on my drive home, and I'm out on the interstate here, and I can't tell what the hell this is. This is a wreck? Or what? There's always wrecks out here, so... and I can never really tell until I get right up on the darn thing. But man, there is a large backup, even on the Easy Pass. Even the Easy Pass, the express lane, is even backed up, which is really weird, really strange. That never happens. So I'm not quite sure what happened or what is here after this one. So I got a bunch of what I like to call TBRs to be read, books to be read, and my next one is called No Excuses from Brian Tracy. So I've already kind of dived into that one a little bit, and I'm going to dive into it just a little bit more, but this is for yourself, a circumstance, a situation, other people, whatever the case may be. You know, the whole idea is to not make excuses, because there's really no excuse. There's no excuse for success. You know, there's really no excuse for achieving success. there's lots of opportunities that are out there, and a lot of people tend to make excuses on why they can't succeed. I can't succeed because of, whatever the circumstance is, whatever the situation is, whatever. And I think it's very unfortunate, because there's a lot of opportunity out there every single day in which to achieve success. You might not necessarily have the knowledge or the skills at the moment, and that's great. But those types of things are learnable. You can learn those types of things. They're teachable. Okay? You can teach those types of things when you do learn them, and people can teach them to you. All right, so the whole idea is to grab yourself a mentor. If you're struggling with something in life, whether it be something personal, whether it be something professional, the whole idea is to grab you a mentor. Grab somebody that's just a little bit smarter, a little bit more educated, a little bit more knowledgeable, a little bit more skilled at what it is that you're trying to learn, and pick their brain. Like, I'll give you an example. Myself, for example, I don't know everything. There's a lot of things that are out there that I really don't know. And I found myself in a position one time to where one of my senior leaders, someone that I worked for, looked at me and said, that's no excuse that you don't know everything. You're in this position, you should know everything. And I kind of looked at this person, I was like, how can you say something like that? Just because of a position that I'm in, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm any smarter than the next person, or any dumber than the next person. So a lot of times you got to be careful with that one, because just because you are in a position of increased authority and responsibility, it doesn't often mean that you know everything. Alright? I don't know everything, but I know how to reference certain things. I know how to look certain things up, and I know how to ask questions if I don't know something. And a lot of people tend to forget that. A lot of people tend to want to put your position in check, like, okay, well, you're the boss, you're the leader, you're the supervisor, you have to know everything, you must know everything, you need to know everything. Well, I kind of disagree with that. It goes back into this thing of what I was talking about, mastering your brain and no excuses. So you can never really fully master your brain, but you can never really store everything in it neither. And the whole idea is that whenever you do have something that you don't know, don't make an excuse for it. If you don't know, okay, I don't know, but I can get you the answer, is significantly much more acceptable of just saying, I don't know, and I don't care, and whatever the case may be. And I think for the most part, if you do find yourself in that type of a situation to where you don't know something, just admit it. Don't make excuses. And a lot of times that's what gets you in trouble, is when you do tend to make those types of excuses. Okay? So if you don't know something, own up to it. Hey, boss, I don't know that, but I can go find out real quick, and I can come back and let you know. And a lot of times, if you've got a good working relationship with your boss or your supervisor, they'll work with you, man. They'll really kind of say, okay, go out there, figure it out, and then come back and let me know once you do have it figured out. But just saying, oh, I don't know, in a manner in which it sounds like you don't really care, you're gonna find yourself in trouble. All right. And I have found myself in those types of situations to where I've had to help my employees, those that work for me, find something, because I also understand that they don't know everything neither. And when I ask something, 9 times out of 10, I already kind of know the answer that I'm looking for. I'm just looking for that validation kind of thing. Or I'm troubleshooting, or I'm trying to find a point to, like a teaching point, for example. So let's say, for example, if I'm trying to teach somebody something, I'll ask them kind of like a poking or a prodding type of a question, just to see what the person knows. Okay, does this person know this? All right, well, let me ask kind of a question that they may or may not know, and see if they surprise me. as a supervisor, that's one of the things that I will do. I will ask those types of questions just to see what somebody knows. And I have been surprised. I've been surprised in the past. You know, I asked somebody a question, I didn't think that they knew what it was, and man, sure enough, this person comes back and answers the question. I'm like, oh wow, man, I didn't think you knew that. You know, I wasn't trying to be rude or disrespectful to the person, but it kind of follows in line with, you don't know what you don't know, and if you don't know, well, you got to ask. You know, don't make excuses and this, that, and the other. And I've even seen supervisors do that kind of thing. You know, they don't really get involved with their employees, and when they get asked something, oh, I don't know, and then they don't go ask neither. So 9 times out of 10, if a leader or supervisor doesn't know something, especially within their own team or organization or whatever label you want to put on that, it's because they don't get out of their office enough and go out and check on their employees and ask questions and do kind of a morale check, so to speak. And I've even experienced leaders that that are like that as well too. They don't come and check on you. They don't ask how you are. Do you got any problems? Is there anything that I can help you with? But whenever the crap really hits the fan and nobody really knows what's going on, it's really embarrassing. Yeah, it really is. And I've even seen that happen, in the past as well too. I've even been guilty of doing those types of things. But I tell you what, it's that hard lesson learned right there that made me not want to do that again. And sometimes it takes that hard lesson learned to get your head out of your butt and go out there and make sure that you know the things that you need to know. Now, you don't need to know everything, but there are certain things that you do need to know, so that way you can answer specific or certain questions, especially if you got something that's up and coming, something's going on, something's current, something's about to happen in the future. And then, more importantly, if something does happen in the past, you kind of need to be able to revisit that if or as necessary. Just because something happened in the past doesn't mean you just brain dump it and forget about it. You never know, some of that stuff can kind of come back and get you as well too. And I've had that happen to me. I was like, dang dude, I haven't even thought about that in 10 years. You asking me about that now? I've had that kind of a strange conversation. And yeah, those kind of conversations do tend to happen. Somebody's thinking about something and, they want to ask some type of a question. And they may kind of pick your brain on something that happened 4, 5, 10 years ago. So, anyway, so I'm on my drive home. Figured I'd kind of come on here. Hopefully this all kind of came together nicely. I don't know how this is going to turn out in the end. So if you are with me, drop me a comment within the chat. Let me know that you're here. I can't really read it, but I'll read it later. And I'll make sure that I hit you back and comment back. If you're new to my channel, once again, make sure you hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, and make sure that you come back and watch some of my videos again. When I go live, it's really kind of impromptu. Some of the stuff is a little bit planned out, but this one's just kind of an impromptu live. I'm just jumping on, kind of talking about random things because I'm driving home. And I kind of thought to myself at one time, I was like, man, I'm over here driving home all this time and I'm just wasting time. There's nothing I can do but drive home. Why not figure out a way to go live, and that way I can kind of talk to people and provide some value, and that's what I'm trying to do here today. So if you're new to my channel, you don't know who I am, my name is Terry Thompson. I am a published author. I am a motivational speaker. I'm a leadership expert. I am a certified training developer. I am a certified master resilience trainer. In other words, what I do is I counsel people and I help them kind of bounce back from problems or issues that they may be facing, whether it be personal or professional. So basically, I'm a life coach. I'm an entrepreneur, a businessman. I own and operate multiple online businesses. I've built several streams of income that generate thousands of dollars for me. And, and sometimes I want to make sure that I try to teach you those knowledge and skills as well. I had a leader tell me that and I don't even want to call the guy a leader, I just kind of want to call him Guy. You know, it was supposed to be his job to be my leader and to coach, mentor me, but he really didn't. Because I come to him one day and asked him a question, and he really just says, it's not my job to teach you. It's not my job to train you. You know, and I don't want to be that guy. I want to make sure that I give back just as much as I've been given, so that way I can coach, teach, train, and mentor those that have concerns, you know, whether, like I said, whether it be personal, whether it be professional, it doesn't really matter. So if you got any questions, you got any concerns, you got anything that you want to hear me talk about in one of my videos or an upcoming live stream, please let me know. Drop a comment there within the chat, leave me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and we'll see how I can help you. You know, so if you do got any questions about business, how to build a business, how to do social media, that's my niche, my market, so to speak, or at least one of my main ones. So all of my books that I've written are about that. It's about motivation, they're about inspiration, about life, about leadership type things. And one of my best-selling books, it's kind of seller in the UK. I found that kind of strange. And it's What It Takes to Become a Mentor is a bestseller in the UK. And I was like, wow, that's actually kind of interesting that that's a bestseller in the UK. So I have another book, How to Live Your Best. You will see both of my books. All you got to do is sign up, provide a valid email address, and you will get immediate instant access to both of those books. One's an ebook, one's an audio book. And I promise not to spam you. That's not my goal. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to spam you. I don't want to sell you anything. Not yet, anyway. I do have things that are up and coming that I am going to have for sale, and I do want to be upfront and transparent with that. So right now, I just want to provide value. I want to give you some free products to kind of get introduced to who I am and what it is that I do. See a link to my Patreon page, part of your membership. Alright, so I'm just getting started with that, but I have a ton of content that I am going to start transitioning over to my Patreon page. So when you do join up, you're going to get exclusive content only available on Patreon. Okay? And that's one way that you can provide support for me and what it is that I'm doing, and it will allow me to continue doing what I'm doing and to give back. If you do have anything you want to hear me talk about in the future, let me know in the chat. That way I can talk about it, create a video here. So I'm at a stoplight here. Maybe I can kind of grab the phone here and see who's joining me here. All right, so Chess Crystal, thank you. Thank you for joining me here today. Hopefully you're not getting like a super zoom in on my eyes or anything like that. But Janelle's Kitchen, thank you for joining me. Exploring the Beauty of Korea, thank you for joining me. I'm not quite sure who else is on with me today, but thank you for joining me. If you're still with me, hopefully everything's going well your way. I do enjoy your live streams, though, you know, whenever you got... Okay. So I'm back again. And this is really getting frustrating. Every time I hit a dead spot here on my cell phone, my signal tends to go out on me. Alright, so... So anyway, Mine's Vlogs, how's it going? Good. But I was asking a question about letting pre-record something and just let it go for like 6 hours or 4 hours or whatever the case may be. I'm just trying to let, you know, once again, have the ability of going live. Like the other day, for example, I live streamed, or I did a pre-recorded live stream of one of my audiobooks, and I let that thing go for like 4 hours. It like played through it 4 times during the course of the live stream, and once again I got a little bit of watch time on that, and I want to do that some more. I want to do that again. But I want to make sure that I create like a show, or I create some, and I've seen people do that. I've seen other channels do that kind of stuff. I'll give you an example. There's music channels that are out there that does like 24/7 streaming of like piano music, 24/7 streaming of like freaking guitar playing, but it's all pre-recorded stuff. You know, and I know that they go through like Restream or Stream.io, or there's something that they go through out there that actually does that. And you know, and I want to record some pre-recorded shows, and I know I can do that on OBS. I did that on OBS the other day. Yet people can still enjoy the content and chat and cross-talk and communicate and everything. So I do got some other audio books that I'm going to record here pretty soon, and I want to do that, and I want to create some online training videos, and I want to get some of that stuff out there, and hopefully that's something that everybody wants to have a look at. I know what everybody's getting excited about here is this planning method that I got coming out here pretty soon. So I'm in the process of creating this planning method, and I'm going to have that out here soon, here within the next month. I should have my planning method available, because I know I've had a lot of people asking me about my planning method, and that's going to be one of the first paid products that I actually ask people to pay for. But I am going to give away some free beta versions of it. Let people have a look at it and test it out and kind of see if at the end of the day, you know, I'm not monetized. It's disturbing to me, but at the end of the day, you know, and that's one of the things that I think that Google really needs to, or YouTube really needs to take a serious look at, because, okay, Google AdSense, that's great. I can have those play on my video. That's supported by businesses and companies that are paying to have their stuff put in front of you. But Super Chat is crowdsourced funding, man. That's people supporting people by giving Super Chat to people, man. You know, and that's what I don't understand, why you need 1,000 freaking subscribers and 4,000 watch hours to enable Super Chat, because I should already have it enabled, because it allows people to actually be enabled, and we should talk on that one, because I really think that's a topic that I haven't heard nobody talk about that yet. Everybody gets so bent out of shape over, I gotta monetize my channel, Great. You know, Google AdSense is great, and I've got Google AdSense on a lot of my websites, but I'm here to tell you right now that Super Chat is 1,000 times more powerful than Google AdSense ever will be. And that's the honest truth right there. Like I said, I just gave you an example of watching a big YouTube channel. This guy went on, and in less than an hour, he had $1,000 bucks. $1,000. Okay? How many of you can say you made $1,000 in an hour just by sitting on YouTube freaking talking about stuff or just doing stuff? I know I can't. Now, I've done that on websites. I've made $2,000-$3,000 on one website. You know what I'm saying? Just doing different things sometime soon. So wishing you all the best, continued success. Thank you for taking